Multi-millionaire socialite abuses children, okay? She's a predator. She recorded children for her own sexual arousal. And she has been let off easy in a weird plea agreement. Let's put up a picture full throttle here, all right? That's Hadley Palmer out of Connecticut. She has been charged with secretly filming minors in her mansion. She's already been released from custody in an unusual agreement. She's the daughter of wealthy hedge fund founder Gerald Fine and a mother of 4 herself. She pleaded guilty to secretly filming 3 individuals, including a child, in a sexual situation in her home. The charges stated that she filmed someone either naked or in their underwear with the intent to arouse or satisfy the sexual desire of such person, the defendant, or another person. She pleaded guilty January to 3 counts of voyeurism and risk of injury to a minor, okay? As part of the plea deal, the 2 most serious charges were dropped: employing a minor in an obscene performance and possession of child pornography. They decided that her money was more important than justice. They decided that the children she violated were not important. That's what they decided, all right? However, in a very unusual move, the judge ruled the criminal case can be sealed, okay? Can be sealed from the public despite the severity of the crime, limiting most of the details of criminal proceedings surrounding this. The judge ruled the case should be sealed over objections to the Associated Press, saying the need to protect the victims outweighed the public's right to know about the proceedings. It is known the victims were minors and that one is under 16. Now, here's the reality. Now, the judge is trying to play games here. They could redact the information of the minor and release the details of the case. They're sealing her record because the monster in question, the monster who has pled guilty, has millions. This is typical in America. This is not abnormal. This is actually normative. It shows that the actual power in the criminal justice system is still money and influence. There's more. There was a lot of concern regarding the seal and Palmer's status had something to do with it. AP reporter Dave Collins, okay, argued against the move at a February hearing, claiming that the case was a second tier of justice where Palmer leveraged her wealth to keep things secret. I've never had a case where I've moved to seal the file. It's not a practice that you usually see in criminal court. The presumption in all courts, particularly criminal courts, is that the proceedings are open. That's completely correct. This is what the judge wrote in the ruling that supported sealing her file. Now, let's put it up. Now, I want to remind you, this is all about her money, her status, and who her daddy is, okay? Between 2017 and 2018, the defendant knowingly photographed, filmed, and recorded certain individuals without their knowledge or consent and under circumstances where those individuals were not in plain view and had a reasonable expectation of privacy, and at least one photograph taken by the defendant depicted a person who was a minor. While her sentencing isn't until August, she agreed to serve the minimum 90 days. That's it, 90 days in the New York Correctional Institution. That was part of the plea deal. She will have to register as a sex offender, but her record will be sealed from public view. Well, you know what won't be part of that seal? This show, all right? And this segment. Put up a picture again. That's a monster, okay? That is a child damn predator. She's enabled by other monsters. The judge in this case, those who decided to look the other way, the prosecutor who allowed this ridiculous plea deal to go forth, they are monsters too. Let me tell you another chief monster in this case. Put his picture up. You see that guy? He actually got arrested for real. Now, why did he get arrested? The investigation led to the arrest of Dr. Jerome F. Brodel. He's a child psychologist who failed to report the abuse, neglect, or injury of a child. No surprise here. His file has also been sealed since he applied for accelerated rehabilitation. Damn, they're sealing the file of child predators. Do you see this? These people are sick. They're extremely evil. We're talking about children. We're talking about, listen, if you're corrupt, okay, whole lot of corrupt people in the world, we know that. But you do understand that gangsters wouldn't even be this corrupt. Drug dealers wouldn't even be this corrupt. You guys on a whole nother level. You've never been part of a gangbang until you've been part of a political one like this one. These are the real gangsters in society. These are the real thugs in our social order. They all are in on it. And there are actual victims. Children have been victimized by these monsters. And the remedy is to give a woman 90 days in jail, to arrest the psychologist who was also in violation of public trust and a litany of other crimes. He had a duty to report. He had a duty to report. And all of them, they get to live on their merry lives because they got money. They got influence. Jessica, what are your thoughts about this case?
Yeah, I think it's important to really highlight that this is unusual and rare for a case to be completely sealed like this. Like you said, we could have the evidence with any details about the victims removed and the rest released. And there's a deterrence factor in having criminal proceedings be open to the public. It's a part of our social contract, right? Regardless of how good you think our social contract is, when someone breaks the law and does something that we don't think should be done in society, we hear it in a court of law. And she's probably embarrassed about what she's done, quite frankly. She should be terribly ashamed of it. And what's really interesting is there's no trafficking charges. So I wonder who these children are, where did they come from? Why were they in her mansion? And it's exactly like you said, it's a case where she comes from a lot of money. And I actually grew up in the county where Greenwich, Connecticut is. And just to paint the picture of the difference of wealth, I grew up in Stamford in a neighborhood of people who were electricians, they were carpenters, they were bookkeepers for small businesses. They don't have college degrees. And a lot of these people go to Greenwich, Connecticut to clean people's houses, to work on their cars, to do mechanic work for them and carpentry work. And so she comes from a completely different world from everyday people, and our courts are treating it the same way.
Yeah, it's sad, but you are right.